In this video, I will be researching into the 2015 crime film Focus, starring Will Smith and Margot Robbie. Focus was directed by Glenn Vicara and John Rakua, and used the characters in a way that I haven't seen them before in my research, as we see romance in between the action. The film was brilliant, and you can see how the film focuses on the money side of things rather than power and authority, which is something that we also haven't seen in my other films. As also, more modern films tend to focus on money because it's such a valuable thing, obviously, but it's become more important nowadays because it can give you power and titles, whereas in the old days The Godfather wasn't exactly the richest man on the earth, but it's quite clear to see that he had a lot of power and authority among the people in New York. The plot. Nicky, a veteran conman, embarks on a big mission to hinder an F1 race team's hopes of winning. His plan is to ruin as he gets caught up in a romantic obsession with one of his ex-con artists, Jess. Jess and Nicky hadn't seen each other for 3 years until they came together in a shocking turn of events, and they play with each other's heads until they're caught up in a dramatic situation involving money, guns, and a lot of romance. Not your typical crime film, but it's up there with the best nevertheless, because I really enjoy how the plot has sort of changed from time because it's progressed over a period of time, shot over 3 years, and also changes locations a lot, which is something that I would like to include and also make a big part of my plot. Focus had a budget of $50 million US, which is huge, and you can tell how much has gone towards the expensive luxury props that are littered throughout the film. The film has grossed over $50 million so far, and with a DVD release incoming, it's clear to say that it will turn over a very large profit, and with big actors like Will Smith and Margot Robbie, the popularity of the film will continue to grow, as I think that most people will want to watch films that have Will Smith in them, and same with Margot Robbie, and I think that the film will steadily make money over the next few years, and also there might even be a sequel, we don't know. Focus was released on the 27th of February 2015, so it's a very recent film which can really help me with my research, as I have already looked into old films, and now I have looked into 2 very good recent films which I could take inspiration from. And because this film was so recent, it hasn't even been released on DVD yet, but I was lucky enough to watch it in the cinema, which is why I had to choose it, because it's such a great crime film to research it, because it still keeps some of the old conventions, but the new conventions that it uses, like romance, can really help to add to the story and make it seem even more realistic, even though some scenes might not seem as realistic, like we see with the tampering of the F1 cars and other things like that. But I really do enjoy the plot, and also I really enjoyed the film, and it's so good that it's such a recent film because it can really help me evaluate my film research, as well as also make me take inspiration from this film as well as other older films. Set in several exotic locations like Buenos Aires, New Orleans, Las Vegas and New York, this film travels from location to location in seconds, and this is exactly the convention that I would like to use for my film trailer. Use of several locations shows how the character's financial state, and Nicky being a millionaire, has been shot in all of these different locations, showing that he's a successful conman and has a lavish lifestyle where he doesn't need to work to actually go to these places, where he can literally just steal or con other people into living like this, because even though he isn't shown as a criminal, we all know that his criminal activities have given him this platform to act upon and also go to several locations and gamble as much money as he has done in a few of these scenes. The characters are as follows: Will Smith as Nicky, Margot Robbie as Jess, Adrian Martinez as Farhad, Gerald McRaney as Owens, Rodrigo Santoro as Garriga, B.D. Wong as Liwan, Brennan Brown as Horst, Robert Taylor as McEwen, Doton Bonan as Gordon, Griff First as Gareth, Stephanie Horone as Janice, and Dominic Famusa as Jared. Focus is such a great film, and the con artist lifestyle that Nicky and Jess live is different from anything that I've researched, because I've researched into a lot of mobster-based crime films, as well as Nightcrawler, which is sort of the only exception apart from this film. I really enjoy how the props have been used the most. As from watching the 2 clips that I'll be analysing in my next video, you see a large amount of props and very nice scenery, which shows that the wealthy people are in the areas that they are stealing from, and this film really shows how easy it is to steal millions. Now, it obviously isn't easy to steal that amount of money, but because it's acting as if it's a business, you can really see how this actually happens in real life, and obviously it's glamorised because you see a romance happening at the same time, which kind of takes the attention away from the crime, but nonetheless it's still a crime film. The conventions are also very good because they've focused on the main props as well, on how they can represent and connote how the characters live, because I really like the use of props for trailers, because I think this is such a key convention, because you can really show what your film's about and also what is going to happen. I really love how they've also not conformed to most conventions, whereas old films usually have one main character, but this film has two, and you can really see how their lives are different, and then also how their lives get twisted. And they also meet each other eventually 3 years later, and this is also another convention where it carries on over a set number of years, and this is another thing that I will take note of for when I finally come up with my own plot. Thank you for watching my extensive research into Focus, and make sure you watch my clip analysis of Focus in my next video. Thank you.